Millions of people work exhausting 50-hour weeks, genuinely believing that if they just grind a little harder, they will finally be wealthy. Even though the absolute hardest working people in our society are almost always the ones struggling the most. So why does the ultimate virtue of hard work mathematically guarantee you will fall behind? Picture a perfectly normal Friday afternoon. You are sitting across from your manager in a glass-walled office. You finally get the news you have been waiting for. After 3 years of late nights, skipped family events, and relentless dedication, you secured the promotion. You get a new title and a 10% raise. You feel a profound sense of validation. You celebrate. You willingly take on 60-hour weeks to prove you deserve the new position. But a few months later, you sit down at your kitchen table to pay your bills. You look at the math and a cold knot forms in your stomach. A terrifying, entirely invisible trap has just been executed right in front of you. Your rent just went up. Your grocery bill is completely unrecognizable. And because of your new salary, the government just bumped you into a higher tax bracket. You calculate your actual real-world purchasing power. You realize that despite the massive promotion, despite the grueling 60-hour weeks, you can actually afford less today than you could 3 years ago. You are working significantly harder, but you are quietly becoming poorer. Society has gaslit an entire generation into a devastating financial illusion. We are taught from childhood that climbing the corporate ladder is the guaranteed, undeniable path to financial freedom. We believe that wealth is simply a byproduct of extreme human effort. But the new economy is structurally designed to aggressively punish linear labor. Most people disagree about this. If you ask traditional career advisors, they will tell you that you just need to hustle more. They will tell you to get a side gig, earn a master's degree, and outwork everyone else in your department. Some economists argue the exact opposite. They point out that in a modern fiat system, trading your time for a paycheck is essentially financial suicide. Here's where people are split. Is the middle class struggling because they lack a strong work ethic, or is the very definition of work fundamentally broken? People don't make bad financial decisions. They respond to the environment around them. And your environment aggressively trains you to be a highly efficient wage earner. But look at a standard paycheck from a completely different economic position. A traditional salary is the highest taxed income stream in existence. Before the money even reaches your bank account, the system confiscates a massive percentage. The harder you work, the larger the slice the government legally extracts. But taxes are only the first half of the trap. The second half is the silent thief of inflation. When central banks print trillions of dollars, the cost of hard assets like houses, land, and corporate equities skyrockets. Asset prices rise infinitely faster than corporate wage growth. You think you're climbing a ladder, but actually you're running on a treadmill that's constantly accelerating in the exact opposite direction. But the real reason this system traps so many brilliant people is much stranger. It's because we fundamentally misunderstand human limits. Trading time for money has a strict, unbreakable biological cap. You only have 24 hours in a day. You have to sleep, you have to eat, you will eventually age. No matter how smart you are, your physical output has a ceiling. The wealthy know this. They know that competing against a massive, inflationary economy using human energy is a mathematical impossibility. So they don't use human energy. They use leverage. The economic divide of the future is no longer between the employed and the unemployed. It's between those who rent out their time and those who own productive systems. The wealthy don't work for heavily taxed paper currency. They work to acquire uncapped assets. They buy cash-flowing real estate. They buy high-yield dividend portfolios. They write code. They build media, and they construct automated digital businesses. These assets don't sleep. They don't get tired. They don't ask human resources for a sick day. They relentlessly compound in value, completely independent of the owner's daily physical effort. They outpace the speed of the printing press because they are the exact assets the new money is flowing into. The biggest financial advantage isn't intelligence, it's which game you're playing. The middle class is playing a game of linear addition. They try to add a few dollars to their hourly rate, completely unaware that inflation is multiplying the cost of their survival. They try to save their way to retirement using money that is programmed to lose its value. The wealthy are playing a game of exponential multiplication. They know that true financial security requires decoupling your income from your time. Let's slowly reveal the invisible forces holding this entire machine together. The incentives of the corporate world are meticulously designed to keep you chasing the next promotion. They offer you prestigious titles and slight pay bumps to ensure you remain exhausted, compliant, and totally focused on their spreadsheet instead of your own. Your exhaustion is their ultimate retention strategy. The structures of the tax code specifically reward business owners and investors. The government offers massive legal shields to those who provide housing or create jobs, while entirely ignoring the W-2 employee. The system openly tells you exactly how it wants you to behave. The social pressures of modern culture demand that you tie your entire human worth to your job title. This makes the idea of stepping off the corporate ladder and building independent systems feel like a terrifying personal failure. And the probabilities dictate a ruthless, undeniable truth. If your only source of income is directly tied to your physical presence, your wealth will inevitably drop to zero the exact moment you stop moving. The system relies entirely on you trading your time. The people who grind themselves to the ground, work 60 hours a week, and still end up broke did not fail the system. They followed the system perfectly. They did exactly what the economy required them to do. They produced the value, they paid the highest taxes, they absorbed the inflation, and they provided the cheap labor required for the engine of global credit to run. They traded their prime biological years for an illusion of progress. Wealth is often less about effort and more about position. If you position yourself as a highly paid wage earner, your effort will constantly be drained. You will spend decades running at a full sprint, wondering why the finish line keeps moving further away. You will be playing a game of musical chairs where half the seats were just permanently removed. But if you position yourself as an owner of scalable systems, the exact same macroeconomic forces push you effortlessly forward. When you finally understand the mechanics of this illusion, the traditional advice of simply working harder shatters completely. You stop trying to outwork a printing press. You realize that a salary is a fantastic tool to generate initial capital, but an absolutely terrible vehicle for long-term freedom. The modern economy does not reward how hard you sweat. It rewards what you own. You can keep running on the treadmill, staring at the screen, hoping it eventually slows down. Or you can step off the machine and start building your own.